what's up? This is Electrified 101, and I'm just playing some Roblox, Star Wars Tycoon. Sorry I don't have an intro. I'm using the Roblox thing with a narration over it. And so, I'm here to talk about Star Wars Episode 8 conspiracy theories. Just let me know in the comments if this is good, bad, what you think. I mean, is it right? Is it wrong? What do you think? And maybe I'll have your info in the next video about Star Wars 8, Episode 8, Conspiracy Theories. So, anyways, there's a lot of speculation about Rey's parents, which I think the most plausible is probably a theory that is a little insane, but that Rey is Palpatine's granddaughter, because it needs to be someone who's connected to Luke Skywalker, because they have too many connections to Leia. So it's not going to be someone with a connection to Leia, but it's going to be someone with a connection to Luke, because she's obviously a Skywalker. The lightsaber called to her. She could use the Force into the lightsaber, and so I'm here to explain that more, because Palpatine had a connection to Anakin Skywalker, who was Luke Skywalker's father, and had Luke's lightsaber before he did. And that is basically that. I think that would provide a great twist with a character that we all know and hate. And I think that would be really cool to do. Anyways, basically that is Rey. That's who I think. And then, I mean, I've only seen one video on this. I was watching a bunch of videos earlier today to get some information for this video, and no one really. Too many people are like too busy finding out who Snoke is, who Rey's parents are, who the Knights of Ren are, and I'm going to talk about all those people. But I also want to talk about who Finn's parents are, because we don't know them at all, because he was taken from them at an early age. I saw a really interesting video. It said that there were two options: Lando Calrissian and Mace Windu. I feel like Mace Windu is the more plausible of the two, because, I mean, he knows how to pick up a lightsaber instantly. He has to have, like, some force in him to know instantly how to use the lightsaber. And, I mean, so many people were brainwashed at birth by the First Order, and he snapped out of it. So that's got to take some force. And all this I'm getting from the video. This was, I think, Qui-Gon Josh's video, so give kudos to him for Qui-Gon Josh. And anyways, so we're on to the Knights of Ren. I think that Darth Maul would be the perfect candidate for creating the Knights of Ren, because he was a great character. I love Darth Maul. He was probably the best thing that the prequels had, because the prequels stunk except for Episode 3. And I know I think that. I'm not sure about you guys, but I hated the prequels. I mean, I didn't like them very much. But I think that Darth Maul should come back, as he was literally the best thing that the prequels had, and he was on for literally 20 minutes. But if he was leading, like, he came back in Star Wars The Clone Wars, he came back in Star Wars Rebels, and he's like the perfect balance between good and evil. He's been betrayed by both good and evil, and so he's like balancing all the Force out. I mean, and so he's a perfect candidate, because the Knights of Ren are like balanced. They aren't necessarily good, they aren't necessarily evil, but they're perfectly balanced in the Force. some of them are at least, but they work for the First Order. And so that's who I think is leading the Knights of Ren. And then I'm going to talk about, for the rest of the time I have here, an outlandish theory that is probably never going to happen, but would be crazy and insane, and probably, I'd actually like this a lot if this happened. It's not going to happen, but, if anybody's seen the Darth Jar Jar videos, that's what I'm going to talk about. So, Jar Jar Binks executes a 20-foot jump and flip into the air perfectly. And the only people we've seen to do that are Jedis and Siths. So, he could be one of the greatest Sith masters. And he acts dumb and stupid, but nobody, no matter how clumsy, not by accident, can destroy half of a droid army. That was insane. When he was making big decisions, he always waved his hand. He was using the mind tricks. And whenever he was making influencing decisions, like with Padme's decision to go back to Naboo, he was waving his hand. And I mean, it was he could be a giant Master Sith Lord, and if he came back in Episode 8, I think that would be perfect. I mean, this might happen like in Episode 9. What if Darth Jar Jar, he was using Snoke as a pawn for Darth Jar Jar, and then, I don't know, maybe Snoke turns against him, like apprentices usually do on the Masters, and then Jar Jar brutally murders Snoke and takes over the galaxy. That's not gonna happen, but I think that would be a pretty awesome ending, and that would definitely cause havoc in the Star Wars universe. I don't want that to happen, but I think that would be really cool if that actually did happen. And so my time has pretty much run out, and so see you guys later. This is Electrified One. Peace out.